So that's what the situation was. Like, you trying to come over here. I ain't had to do nothing or say nothing.
Yella Beezy just made headlines with a jaw-dropping revelation about the murder of his op, Mo 3. Beezy was charged with hiring a hitman to eliminate Mo 3. But now, what's even more shocking is how his own words may have exposed chilling details about the crime. In this video, we're breaking down exactly what Beezy said and uncovering the real reason he may have wanted Mo 3 gone. Let's get into it. Yella Beezy makes a shocking revelation. Beezy's name has been on everybody's lips ever since he was arrested for orchestrating the hit that took out his op, Mo 3. But now, an old interview has resurfaced, and fans are convinced that Beezy may have unknowingly dropped clues about the shocking murder long before his arrest. In this resurfaced clip, Beezy speaks on the Boozy shooting that went down in 2020. According to him, the incident happened because Boozy ventured into unfamiliar territory and tried to assert control. He implied that even if he didn't order a hit on Boozy, his crew may have gotten violent and taken matters into their own hands.
So that's what the situation was. Like, you trying to come over here. I ain't had to do nothing or say nothing. Like, I don't even know what's going on with that.
The events leading up to Boozy's shooting in Dallas were steeped in tension and long-standing rivalries. Boozy, a respected figure in the hip-hop community, had traveled to Dallas to pay his respects at a vigil for Mo 3, Beezy's op, who had been tragically gunned down just days earlier. Boozy's presence in Dallas, especially in unfamiliar territory, was seen by many as a bold and risky move. According to Yella Beezy's later revelation, Boozy's attempt to assert himself in this new environment may have been perceived as a direct challenge by local figures. Beezy even gave an example of how stepping into a rival's hood after an online spat can put a target on your back, regardless of whether a hit is ordered or not. According to him,
something happened to you, I get on the internet, oh, you feeling it? I'm on my way.
Yeah.
I'm on my way. I'm not from Philly. I'm going to Philly. Then I go to one of your hood stores. Bro, I don't gotta do nothing or call no shots.
The Dallas rap scene was already simmering with rivalries and territorial disputes, and Boozy's arrival added fuel to the fire. While the exact motives behind the shooting remain unclear, it is believed that the incident was a culmination of existing tensions within the community. Boozy's attempt to navigate this volatile environment ultimately led to the shooting that left him injured. News of the incident spread rapidly, with fans and fellow artists expressing their concern across social media platforms. Boozy, who had sustained a gunshot wound to the leg, was rushed to a local hospital where he received treatment for his injuries. But while Boozy survived the encounter, Beezy believed Boozy knew exactly what he was walking into and still chose to step into danger.
Like, I don't even know what's going on with that. You get what I'm saying? But he know the truth.
Beezy's comments about Boozy's situation stirred even more controversy, leaving many to wonder if his statements were an attempt to deflect attention from his own alleged involvement in the ongoing rivalries. But now, with this old interview resurfacing, fans are starting to connect the dots, and the questions surrounding Mo 3's murder are getting louder. Could Beezy's comments about Boozy's situation be a revelation about Mo 3's murder? Many believe that, just like Boozy, Mo 3 crossed the line by moving through hostile territory, where tensions were already at a boiling point. And if Beezy's crew was quick to act when Boozy made a similar move, who's to say they didn't do the same thing when Mo 3 pushed into their space? This theory has fans thinking Beezy didn't even need to give the order because the streets already knew what needed to be done, with the bad blood between Beezy and Mo 3 being no secret. Some believe that Mo 3's death may have been another case where Beezy's people acted on instinct without him saying a word. In the wake of Yella Beezy's explosive interview from 2024, investigations into Boozy's shooting and Mo 3's murder gained renewed momentum. Law enforcement agencies ramped up their efforts to unravel the complex events that had rocked the Dallas rap scene. Beezy's comments put him back under the microscope, prompting investigators to re-examine evidence and explore new leads that could shed light on the motivations behind the violence. As the investigation deepened, several key developments began to emerge. Authorities pieced together a clearer timeline of events, connecting the dots between incidents and individuals involved. Witnesses were re-interviewed, and surveillance footage from the areas surrounding the shootings was scrutinized for overlooked details. Their goal was clear: to identify potential suspects and untangle the web of violence that had unfolded. Eventually, the persistence of law enforcement paid off. After months of digging and connecting the dots, investigators uncovered evidence confirming that Beezy was indeed involved in the shooting and killing of Mo 3. The murder of Mo 3 On November 11, 2020, the Dallas community was rocked by the tragic murder of Mo3, a rising star whose life was cut short in a senseless act of violence. According to authorities, the 28-year-old rapper was driving on Interstate 35 in South Dallas when a vehicle approached him. The driver, identified as Q and White, allegedly exited his car with a gun in hand, prompting Mo3 to flee on foot. In a harrowing chase along the freeway, White reportedly fired multiple shots, fatally striking Mo3. The investigation into the murder of Mo3 was a complex and meticulous process, as authorities worked tirelessly to piece together the events leading to his tragic death. In the days following the incident, law enforcement agencies launched an extensive search for the suspect, Q and White, who was identified through eyewitness accounts and surveillance footage from the scene. The footage was played in court, delivering the much-needed evidence. It captured the chilling moment when White allegedly pursued Mo3 on foot along Interstate 35. The scene was tragic, and videos quickly circulated on social media. All efforts to revive Mo3 failed, and he was eventually declared dead by medical personnel. As the investigation progressed, authorities gathered additional evidence that further implicated White in the murder. Ballistic analysis matched the shell casings found at the scene to a firearm associated with White, strengthening the case against him. Furthermore, cell phone records placed White in the vicinity of the crime at the time of the shooting, corroborating the timeline established by investigators. Witness testimonies also played a pivotal role, as individuals came forward with information that helped to solidify the connection between White and the murder of Mo3. For those who cherished Mo3's music and spirit, the news of White's apprehension was a step towards justice. Fans took to social media to express their emotions, sharing memories and tributes that celebrated Mo3's life and legacy. His family, while grateful for the progress in the case, continued to mourn the loss of a beloved son and father, emphasizing the enduring pain of their tragedy. Everyone thought the culprit had been apprehended, but further investigation revealed an uglier truth. While White indeed pulled the trigger, someone else ordered the hit, and that person is Yella Beezy. The arrest indictment of Yella Beezy came as a shock, as the rapper faced serious charges in connection with the murder of Mo3. A Dallas County grand jury indicted Yella Beezy on charges of capital murder while remuneration, a grave accusation that suggested his involvement in a murder-for-hire plot. According to the indictment, Yella Beezy allegedly hired Q and White to carry out the fatal shooting of Mo3, marking a dramatic turn in the investigation. The indictment detailed how Yella Beezy allegedly provided financial compensation to White in exchange for the murder, implicating him as a key figure in the tragic events of November 11, 2020. In response to the serious charges brought against him, Yella Beezy's legal team is most likely mounting a vigorous defense, aiming to challenge the indictment and clear his name. However, details about the lawyers defending him have not yet been revealed to the public. Fans of both Yella Beezy and Mo3 are emotionally drained. The legal proceedings surrounding Yella Beezy's indictment on charges of capital murder have drawn significant attention. The charge of capital murder is one of the most serious offenses in the legal system, carrying the potential for severe penalties, including life imprisonment. High-profile cases like this often place immense pressure on the justice system to ensure a fair and impartial trial. The intense media scrutiny and public interest can complicate proceedings, as potential jurors may be influenced by external factors. Judges and attorneys must navigate these challenges carefully, balancing the need for transparency with the rights of the accused to a fair trial. For Yella Beezy and others involved, the legal proceedings and their outcomes could have significant implications for their careers. An indictment of this magnitude can alter public perception, affecting an artist's reputation and marketability. While some fans may remain loyal, others may distance themselves, impacting record sales, concert attendance, and overall influence within the industry. Keep in mind that this isn't Beezy's first brush with Mo3 and other rappers. He was also involved in a violent shooting incident in 2018, where his vehicle was struck by gunfire over a dozen times while driving on the Sam Rayburn Tollway in Lewisville, Texas. He miraculously survived the shooting, being hit only 3 or 4 times, with one bullet barely missing his heart. The incident occurred shortly after his song "That's On Me" became a hit, and it's been speculated that the shooting might be related to his rising fame or a feud with other local rappers. However, Yella Beezy himself didn't publicly disclose the motives behind the shooting. No arrests were made after the shooting, but it would seem Beezy may have done his own backdoor investigations, holding Mo3 for the attack. This may explain why a traditional beef between the rappers escalated into an assassination. From healthy rivalry to murder for hire. In the early days of their careers, Yella Beezy and Mo3 found themselves frequently crossing paths at local venues and events, both eager to make their mark on the Dallas music scene. Initially, there was a sense of camaraderie between the two, as they shared the same dream of rising to the top in a competitive industry. They were often seen performing at the same clubs, and their mutual respect for each other's talent was evident. However, as their popularity grew, so did the whispers of competition. Fans and industry insiders began to pit the two against each other, fueling a narrative of rivalry. Both artists were determined to outshine the other, leading to subtle jabs in their lyrics and social media posts. As the rivalry between Yella Beezy and Mo3 intensified, it became a spectacle for fans and the media alike. The tension between the two artists was no longer confined to the shadows of the Dallas music scene. It had erupted into a full-blown public feud. Diss tracks became their weapons of choice, with each rapper using their lyrical prowess to take shots at the other. Mo3's tracks were laced with sharp critiques and veiled threats, while Yella Beezy responded with equally biting verses, each song adding fuel to the fire. Social media became another battleground, where the two exchanged barbs and taunts, much to the delight of their followers. Fans eagerly dissected every post and comment, searching for hidden meanings and further evidence of the animosity between the two. The rivalry was no longer just about music. It had become a personal vendetta, with both artists determined to prove their dominance. This public display of hostility only served to heighten the stakes, setting the stage for the tragic events that would later unfold. The rivalry between Yella Beezy and Mo3 took a darker turn with the tragic death of Mo3's close friend, comedian Roylee Pate. In 2018, Pate was shot and killed in North Dallas after publicly dissing Yella Beezy and questioning his ties to Oak Cliff. His death sent ripples through the Dallas community, and many speculated that it was a direct result of the ongoing feud between the two rappers. The death of Roylee Pate made the rivalry even worse, as fans and observers began to draw connections between the comedian's murder and the tensions between Yella Beezy and Mo3. Allegations and rumors swirled, with some suggesting that Pate's death was a warning or a message in the escalating conflict. Public perception shifted, and the rivalry was no longer seen as just a musical battle, but as a potentially deadly confrontation with real-world consequences. This tragic event further fueled the animosity between Yella Beezy and Mo3, pushing their feud into uncharted and dangerous territory. Amidst the swirling tensions and public feuds, a tantalizing rumor emerged that added yet another dimension to the rivalry between Yella Beezy and Mo3. Whispers suggested that the friction between the two rappers may have originated over a woman, a narrative that captivated fans and fueled speculation. This rumor, whether true or not, played perfectly into the dramatic storyline that had already captured the public's imagination. As if that wasn't bad enough, the rivalry inevitably spilled over into legal troubles that further complicated their relationship. One of the most notable incidents involved a lawsuit initiated by Mo3's manager, Brandon Rainwater. In January 2020, Rainwater alleged that Yella Beezy and his crew assaulted him at a Dallas strip club. The altercation reportedly left Rainwater with a dislocated hip. This legal battle was just one of the many instances where law enforcement became involved in the rivalry. The public nature of their conflict meant that any fight or incident was closely scrutinized, with fans and the media eager to dissect every detail. These events are what would eventually cost Mo3 his life. In the wake of the tragic events surrounding Mo3's death and Yella Beezy's arrest, past interviews and statements made by both artists took on new significance. Yella Beezy had often downplayed the feud, stating in a 2024 interview with Can I Vent that he saw no point in acknowledging the late rapper before or after his death. He described their relationship as one without problems, despite the public perception of animosity. Mo3, on the other hand, had addressed the rumors of their feud in a 2019 Vlad TV interview, denying any real beef and attributing the tension to industry gossip.
Nah, ain't no rap beef, ain't no problem, man.
He emphasized that he had no rap beef with anyone, suggesting that the rivalry was more a product of external narratives than personal vendettas. In light of the subsequent events, these comments were scrutinized and reevaluated by fans and the media. Some saw Yella Beezy's dismissive remarks as indicative of deeper issues, while others viewed Mo3's denials as attempts to downplay a dangerous situation. The Dallas rap community and Mo3's family are yet to recover from his death. He was a talented rapper and songwriter born on May 31st, 1992. Mo3 grew up in the rough Oak Cliff neighborhood, where he was exposed to the harsh realities of poverty, violence, and street life. Despite the challenges he faced, Mo3 found solace in music. He started rapping at a young age, influenced by Southern hip-hop legends like UGK and Lil Keke. Mo3's early life was marked by struggles, including the loss of his father at a young age and his mother's battles with addiction. As he navigated the complexities of growing up in the inner city, Mo3 turned to music as a way to express himself and tell his story. He started releasing mixtapes and singles in the early 2010s, slowly building a local following in Dallas. Mo3's music was raw, emotive, and unapologetic, reflecting his experiences with poverty, violence, and personal struggle. His unique blend of hip-hop and blues resonated with fans, who saw him as an authentic voice from the streets. In 2019, Mo3's single Everybody became a regional hit, catapulting him to wider recognition. He collaborated with notable artists like Boozy Badass and Kevin Gates, Gates, solidifying his position in the southern hip-hop scene. Unfortunately, he didn't live long enough to reach his full potential and enjoy the benefits of his fame. He may have been murdered by someone who could have been his industry brother if only they had put rivalries aside and supported each other. Whether Beezy is guilty or not will be determined during the trial. Unfortunately, his case isn't the first and would not be the last case of rappers taking beef too far. Rappers who took beefs too far. In the high-stakes world of rap and drill music, rivalries often ignite with a spark but can explode into full-blown feuds that transcend the music itself, as we've seen in the case of Beezy and Mo 3. For starters, the beef between Troy Ave and Taxstone is a rivalry that escalated into a violent confrontation, leaving a lasting impact on the hip-hop community. It all began with a war of words, as many rap feuds do, but this one took a dark turn that no one could have predicted. Troy Ave, a Brooklyn-born rapper known for his gritty lyrics and street credibility, found himself at odds with Taxstone, a prominent podcast host and media personality. Taxstone, known for his outspoken and often controversial opinions, frequently criticized Troy Ave on his podcast, Tax Season. The tension between the two simmered for months, with each taking shots at the other through social media and interviews. The animosity reached its boiling point on May 25, 2016, at a T.I. concert held at Irving Plaza in New York City. The venue was packed with fans eager to see their favorite artist perform, but the night took a tragic turn when a confrontation erupted backstage. According to reports, Troy Ave and his entourage encountered Taxstone, and a heated argument quickly escalated into violence. Gunshots rang out, sending concertgoers into a panic. In the chaos, Troy Ave was seen on surveillance footage firing a gun, and he later claimed he was acting in self-defense. Troy Ave was arrested and charged with attempted murder and illegal weapon possession. The footage of him firing a gun in the crowded venue became a focal point of the case, painting a damning picture of the rapper's involvement in the violent altercation. As the legal proceedings unfolded, the spotlight shifted to Taxstone. In January 2017, Taxstone was arrested and charged with federal weapons possession. Investigators linked him to the gun used in the shooting, and he was accused of being the instigator of the deadly confrontation. In March 2021, Taxstone was convicted of manslaughter and sentenced to 14 years in prison. For Troy Ave, the incident at Irving Plaza was a turning point in his career. While he maintained his innocence and claimed self-defense, the legal troubles and negative publicity took a toll on his reputation and career trajectory. The rapper continued to release music and perform, but the shadow of the shooting loomed large over his public persona. Of course, the case is different for Suge Knight. The beef between Suge Knight and Terry Carter is a tragic chapter in the history of hip-hop. Suge Knight, a towering figure in the rap industry, was once the co-founder of Death Row Records, a label that played a pivotal role in shaping the sound of West Coast rap in the 1990s. Known for his intimidating presence and business acumen, Knight was both feared and respected in the industry. Terry Carter, on the other hand, was a well-regarded businessman and community figure in Compton, California. He was known for his involvement in various ventures and his efforts to uplift the community. Carter and Knight had a complicated relationship, intertwined with both business dealings and personal connections. Despite their shared history, tensions between the two began to simmer, leading to a tragic confrontation. On that fateful day, Knight visited the set of the film Straight Outta Compton, where he was involved in an altercation with several individuals, including CLE Bone Sloan, a consultant on the film. The confrontation escalated, and Knight quickly left the scene in his truck. What happened next would become the focal point of a high-profile legal battle. As Knight drove away, he encountered Terry Carter in the parking lot of a nearby fast food restaurant dot. In a shocking turn of events, Knight's truck struck Carter, resulting in fatal injuries. The incident was captured on surveillance footage, which showed Knight's vehicle running over Carter and another man, CLE Sloan, who survived the encounter. Knight claimed he acted in self-defense, arguing that he was fleeing from an attack. However, prosecutors painted a different picture, alleging that Knight intentionally ran over Carter in a fit of rage. The legal proceedings were lengthy and fraught with drama. Knight's health issues and courtroom antics added to the complexity of the case, with numerous delays in hearings. The prosecution presented evidence, including the surveillance footage, to support their argument that Knight's actions were deliberate and malicious. In September 2018, Suge Knight reached a plea deal, pleading no contest to voluntary manslaughter. As part of the agreement, he was sentenced to 28 years in prison. Knight is still serving time just like C-Murder. The beef between C-Murder, whose real name is Corey Miller, and Steve Thomas is simply heartbreaking. C-Murder, a rapper from the famed Miller family, which includes his brothers Master P and Silk K the Shocker, was a prominent figure in the southern hip-hop scene, known for his gritty lyrics in association with No Limit Records. C-Murder's career was marked by both success and controversy. The conflict that led to the tragic death of Steve Thomas began in the early 2000s. Steve Thomas was a 16-year-old fan of C-Murder, attending a nightclub event in Harvey, Louisiana, where the rapper was performing. Suddenly, an altercation broke out inside the nightclub. According According to witness accounts, the situation escalated rapidly, and Steve Thomas found himself caught in the chaos. During the melee, Thomas was brutally beaten and shot, succumbing to his injuries shortly thereafter. C-Murder was arrested in connection with the murder, and the case quickly became a media sensation. The prosecution argued that C-Murder was directly involved in the altercation that led to Thomas's death. Witnesses testified that the rapper was seen striking Thomas and that he was present during the shooting. The defense, however, maintained C-Murder's innocence, arguing that he was being unfairly targeted due to his celebrity status. The trial was marked by conflicting testimonies, recantations, and allegations of jury misconduct. Despite the challenges, C-Murder was convicted of second-degree murder in 2003 and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. The verdict was met with mixed reactions, with some believing justice had been served, while others questioned the fairness of the trial. C-Murder's legal team continued to fight for his freedom, filing appeals and seeking a new trial. In 2009, the Louisiana Supreme Court upheld the conviction, but the rapper's supporters remained steadfast in their belief that he was wrongfully convicted. The case drew attention from high-profile figures, including his brother Master P and reality TV star Kim Kardashian, who advocated for a review of the evidence and a reassessment of the trial's integrity. Unfortunately, there have been no changes, and he remains incarcerated at the Louisiana State Penitentiary. Thanks for watching. Check out other cards on the screen.